Hello, welcome to The Ordeal. I want to make a video about defunding the police and what's happening in Minneapolis right now. It has been a very bad idea for Minneapolis to defund their police. I've said this all along that you shouldn't be defunding the police. If anything, we should be adding more funds to the police. Let's take a look. There's an article here by Forbes that we're going to take a look at. So this article here, Minneapolis cuts millions from police budget amid crime spike. But first, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. I do not get very much traction on my videos. So if you can, please watch the video to the very end. If you cannot watch the video to the very end, please go down to the comments and let me know what I can do to improve my videos. Remember, I don't make any money off these videos, so I do this all for you. I'm trying to get to 100 subscribers by the beginning of 2021. Right now, I'm at 94. I know that's really sad, but help me get to that 100 subscriber mark and share all my videos with your friends. I do weekly content on basically stuff that I find that doesn't make sense in society in general. So we have Minneapolis cuts millions from police budget amid crime spike. And this is the top line here. Seeking to deliver on a pledge to reform after the death of George Floyd in May, Minneapolis City Council on Thursday voted to redirect nearly $8 million from the police budget to other programs despite concern about record crime rates in the city. Now, I used to live in Minneapolis. I lived there for about a year and a half, and it was a nightmare. Minneapolis is a nightmare. And we're going to go down here and we're going to see some of this right here. We have Minneapolis became the center of global conversation about racial justice after the city police's deadly encounter with Floyd, sparking a push to defund the police department, which initially had support from the majority of the council. In the months since, however, the city has suffered from a concerning wave of violent crime. Police have recorded 532 gunshot victims so far this year, more than double the number reported last year. Carjackings are also up 331% from the same period last year, and violent crime has surpassed 5,100, over 1,000 more than what was reported in 2019. Meanwhile, the number of working police officers has decreased by 143 from the beginning of the year. 121 of the department's 845 force are on leave, some citing PTSD from the unrest of George Floyd's death. So, I lived in Minneapolis the least amount of time of all of the places that I have lived. And I went back a few times to visit after I moved because I had made a girlfriend while I was there and she was still living there. She eventually moved away and she moved to live with me. That's a whole other story I don't want to get into right now. Minneapolis is a difficult city to live in. If you're from Minneapolis, if you've grown up there and lived there your whole life, leave. Trust me, the rest of the world is easier. Minneapolis is not an easy place to be. I had more encounters with the police in the year and a half that I lived there. I was the victim of more crime than anywhere else I've lived in my entire life. So, I lived there for such a short period of time, yet I had all these bad experiences. And my interactions with the police were typically not positive. The police are a very negative factor in Minneapolis. So it's no surprise to me that this sort of thing happened in Minneapolis, because the average citizens are basically being harassed by the police while the criminals get away with whatever it is they want to do. That's what my experience was, saying, like, look, I experienced more crime when I was there, yet I also had more run-ins with the police when I was there. It's like, wait a second, you're all over me who's doing nothing. I'm not doing anything, but yet you are ticketing me, you're pulling me over, you're causing problems for me in my life, and yet I'm the victim of crime. All right, then. So the problems in Minneapolis are many. And the reasons these problems exist is because of the way that the city is run. And mostly, it's like you're going to get harassed by the police because of the way they set the city up. It's just ridiculous. You have these outrageous street signs that make no sense. I mean, look at some of the stuff. You have these redundant and contradictory street signs that are all over the place. This is commonplace in Minneapolis. You see signs like this. There's also this weird fine amount. What is this? You run a red light. The minimum fine is $336. Why such a random number? 336, and that's also a really high number. Like 336 is and it was this when I was there, which was years ago. I was there, and it was this rate. And then there will be these traffic control signs on your lights, on the traffic lights, that literally have at least this much prose on them. but in a sign that's, for a no turn on red sign, or no left turn sign. It's a really small sign that has all this. You don't know how to delegate traffic in your city. It's really not that hard. You're making it much harder than it needs to be. You're causing way more problems than you need to. On top of all these weird signs that Minneapolis has, the roads are set up terribly. You have one ways that turn into two ways that turn back into one ways. You have one ways that come head on to each other. You have one ways that turn to two ways. You have two ways that turn into one ways. You have all these weird random roads all over the place. And it's very difficult to get around. And what they tell me is, oh, we do that to keep people from running from the police. No, you do that so that the police can ticket you more easily. Because I can't tell you how many times I took a wrong turn. I'm like, what the heck? You would think I could just turn left here at this road. No, you can't turn left on that road. And it's persistent and constant. Like, you can't just go, I need to go this way. Oh, no, nope, you can't turn that way. You got to go down like 3 more freaking blocks to find a road where you can turn left. And then, oh, that road doesn't go through to the road that you were trying to get onto anyway. And so it's really easy to get lost if you're not from there. On top of that, if we look here, so there's this major road running through the city called Nicollet. They pronounce it Nicollet because apparently there's this E is an I and not an E. What do I know? I mean, I only speak English. Anyway, this is a major street through the city. Hey, let's go ahead and drive down here. You come along through the street here. And you're trying to go somewhere. What the hell is this giant building in the middle of the street? Just blocking your way. Oh, it used to be a Kmart, but Kmart's gone out of business, so it's not a Kmart anymore. I don't know what's there. This you have to go around the street. Oh, look, there's Nicollet again. What? Why? Just learn to set up your city correctly. Not only that, let's zoom out a little bit here. We can see they talk about how, like, the city, the streets, almost all the streets, as you can see here, they're named. They are named. There's not very many names. You see 28th Street here. You see 27th, 26th. But all these other streets, look at they're named Grand, Pleasant, Pillsbury, Bladesdell. All these roads, they tell you, oh, these are in alphabetical order. That's how it's so easy to get around the city, because all the name streets are in alphabetical order. Oh, are they really? They're really in alphabetical order. That's why Bladesdell is between Nicollet and Pillsbury. And there's actually another street in here. What street is this? This little tiny street here. I don't know if it's going to tell me the name of it. That is some other street in there. I can't tell you what street that is, but and then on the other side of Nicollet, which, let me see if I can find that again here. Here's Nicollet. What's on the other side of that? Oh, First. And then Stevens. What? And then Second. Really? Yeah, it's really easy to get around the city here. They don't know what they're doing. If we look, we might be able to see some other weird anomalies as far as the naming and numbering of the streets. There's some really weird numbering that's like, that doesn't add up. You have this number, like you have 44th Street here, and then like 5 streets away you have 27th Street. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense. That's not how numbers work. So it was really difficult for me to get around there. I got lost so many times. I was so frustrated. I don't like being lost. I don't think anybody does, really, but I really don't like it. And yeah, it was just such a nightmare being in that city. It doesn't make any sense to me why they would do the things that they do as far as setting this up, unless they wanted to actually build revenue for the police department. A police department which is getting millions, tens of millions of dollars every year to operate. And then on top of it, they are ticketing the citizens like crazy in Minneapolis. Oh, it's such a bad experience. I'm sure there are worse cities. I hear that the East Coast is just a mess as far as trying to get around there. And there's problems with European cities too, because European cities are more organic instead of laid out. Like American cities are laid out. They make a lot of sense as to how there's a grid system and things go generally east and west. Obviously, there's lakes and stuff, so you have to build around the lakes so things don't go perfectly east and west in Minneapolis. But my experience there was that the police are not on the side of the citizens. And then you have a situation like this George Floyd thing comes up that just pushes people to the point where they go, okay, well, now is the time for the revolution. Now is the time. And so they act on it. They act on that, the revolutionary mindset. And you see the people wanting to defund the police, and then more crime happens. So it's a bad idea to defund the police. Don't do it. We need to look at the actual stats. Police kill around 1,000, 1,200 people a year in the country, out of 330 million. And I don't want to see the police killing anyone. You know, their job is to protect and serve. But things happen. You know, there are violent criminals, and the police have to step in and do something about it. They can't just let things happen. So, yeah, I wanted to make a quick video today on Minneapolis, the crime spike that's happening there. It's not a surprise. And I will see you all next time. Thanks for stopping by. Please have a Merry Christmas. It's Christmas Eve here. And I'll see you before the new year. So come back around and I'll have some more videos for you.